once again with a whole new direction. It's Mr. Smelly and his fragrance collection. I got my juice and the man from Del Monte. That's why I got no regrets when I overspray. Ladies smell me coming and they start to scream. Don't get jealous cause I'm living your dream. I may be lacking in hair, but do you think I care? I got the best colognes flowing from my fragrance sprayer. They may be leader of the fragrance community. I do whatever I want with impunity. I have an emotional age of about 9, but I don't need no therapy because I'm doing fine.
A Rolex on my wrist
and a creed on my skin. Every time I get into a fight, I win. Life is good when your name's Mr. Smelly, the best fragrance channel on your YouTube telly. It's Mr. Smelly's fragrance reviews. 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 Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. Today we're going to look at my top 10 classic fragrances that you can still buy today and that still smell absolutely amazing. No need to hunt out vintage bottles on eBay. So let's get into it. Before we do that, please do not forget to go to myfragrancesamples.com if you're in the USA or Puerto Rico and Canada. Amazing service they offer there. Incredible range of fragrance samples, niche and designer stuff. The guy who runs it, Mark, a really great guy. There's a link in the description and you can use my code Mr15 for 15% off site-wide. Do not miss out on that. Let's get into the video then. So what I've done for you here today, some that you may have heard of before on my channel, some that one or two that I may not have ever mentioned before. We're going to look at 10 classic fragrances, so fragrances from at least a good, probably 20 years older and more, that you can still buy the modern version of, and they still smell great. In many cases, really, really affordable ones. A couple of more expensive, kind of niche-y ones in there too. So real mixed bag, real fun, any season, any time, all that kind of stuff. Here's a new arrival to my collection, which really should have been in the collection for years. It's a total classic. It's CERRUTI. Tutti Frutti, it's CERRUTI. Tutti Frutti CERRUTI, 1881. That's not when it was released. It was released, I think, in 1990. You can still buy this for incredible prices, under £20 in the UK. And you got a 100ml bottle. Nice effect on the bottle. Really like the bottle design, actually. Quite cute. And it's a brilliant fragrance. I think it's classed as an aromatic fougere. Let's just spray a little bit. It's actually my scent of the day. It's a very crisp, green, fresh, aromatic fougere with a nice citrusy opening. It's got this kind of light green colour vibe about it. It's got a kind of aquatic-looking bottle, and there's an air of that in the opening, but then it has this classic kind of gentlemanly undertone. I could have almost mentioned Boucheron Pour Homme in this video because I keep banging on about that. There's quite a similarity between those two. Oh, what the hell. Let's put it in as an honourable mention. Either of these two are great. They're very similar smell, actually. CERRUTI 1881, though. Really, really classic. Kind of green, herbal tones, beautiful citrus, classic fougere, lovely gentlemanly stuff. And for 20 quid for the office every day, absolutely stunning stuff. Guys, do not forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. If you enjoy the video, if you like what I bring to the fragrance game, I'm a little bit different to other reviewers. Well, possibly because I'm a lot worse than most of them. But if you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It means you won't miss out on other videos. It really helps me. And I am a real person in the real world, and it makes a difference to my life. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on then. Next up, NIKOS Sculpture. You don't hear a lot about this one. Fantastic 90s scent. I think it was 1994 or something like that. Love the bottle design. It's got this kind of summer holiday vibe about it, but it's not an out-and-out citrus freshie. It's kind of lavender, almost a hint of tobacco, similarities to Versace's The Dreamer, and this kind of beautiful, airy, synthetic, fresh, yet kind of powdery, sweet feel all at the same time. It really is beautiful stuff, and it puts me in this very happy kind of mood, like if I was on holiday in Greece or Italy, and you're going out in the evening, nice suntanned skin, putting on a white shirt, and then you spray on a bit of NIKOS Sculpture. Really nice performance on this one. It's kind of sweet, powdery, fresh at the same time. An air of the Mediterranean about NIKOS Sculpture. And again, outrageously cheap prices, easily under £100. £20 for 100ml in the UK. Next up, guys, we're going to go for one that you rarely hear about, but thank you to the main man himself, Jeremy Fragrance, for drawing this one to the community's attention. FARINA. FARINA, the original eau de cologne from 1709. An Italian immigrant came to Germany, wanted to recreate the smell of the Mediterranean freshness of his homeland of Italy and some of the beautiful fruits on the trees, the citruses, and the things that grew in the groves out there in Italy, the kind of herbal tones. And he did a great job with Farina 1709. God knows how many times they've reformulated it. If you like things like 4711 cologne, it's that kind of eau de cologne, short-lived but amazingly beautiful and very natural, zesty, beautiful, absolutely uplifting citrus fragrance. You'll get through a lot, as I have done, if you want to get any kind of performance out of it. And it's not that cheap, but if you get a big bottle, which I should have done, you might find this is a really, really fun one to be just wearing a winner. One of the classic eau de colognes, and Jeremy liked it so much he apparently tried to buy the company but failed. Next up, New West from Aramis. I think these are beginning to be discontinued now, or I think they're still out there, but maybe they don't make them anymore. But you can still get them for good prices. New West, I think in 1988, officially a fougere, I think, but it's kind of got this proto-aquatic thing beginning to come in. There's kind of a sea notes thing, this crisp sea air mixed with classic, fresh, citrusy opening notes and all your other classic kind of green fougere 80s kind of stuff. But just a hint of that sea spray. If you're kind of Tom Cruise driving along your open-topped car in the film, what was it called, Rain Man or something? I think it was about that year. This is the kind of thing he would be wearing. Aramis New West, really nice, uplifting, late 80s, early 90s kind of vibe, a prototype of the beginnings of some aquaticness, but still got that classic gentlemanly vibe. I really like New West from Aramis, and the modern formulation, as with all of these are all modern formulations, except this one. I've just ordered the modern version. The modern version has a silver cap and a silver bottom. The vintage that people always say you should try and get, it looks like this. Armani Eau Pour Homme. It's a classic citrus aromatic fragrance. It's not a fougere, unlike half the things in this list. Very, very classic Italian stroke American charm. A little bit similar to things like Eau Sauvage from Dior. It's their answer to that. Or YSL Eau Pour Homme. Lovely patchouli. It's got a gutsy, complex base to it. Beautiful, crisp citrus opening. Very, very gentlemanly Italian vibe. The modern one, if anything, a little fresher than this one. And this one has a little bit more guts and oomph. But I almost, from the differences, which aren't huge, I could almost say, having smelt the modern one a lot in the shops, I could almost prefer the modern version. It's much easier to get. So I snapped mine up on All Beauty. I think it was something like £50 for the modern one. And again, I'm not sure if that's just gone out of production, but you can still get it. Great fragrance. Moving on, something a bit more pricey. Villoresi UOMO. I think it was 1993, made in Italy, an Italian brand. And Lorenzo Villoresi has an incredible line. And this is my favourite. Incredible, fresh, I think kind of a citrus aromatic, very spicy citrus aromatic, some kind of vibe in it. Doesn't smell massively similar, but it reminds me, and the era is similar, of Dolce & Gabbana's discontinued Italian-made version of Pour Homme. It's got that real optimistic citrus with a little bit of spicy complexity and a little bit of more to it than just citrus. Absolutely amazing what they've done here. Real long kind of ingredients list with all your kind of kitchen herbs mixed with the bright citrus tones and your classic crisp woods in the base. Again, really great for kind of dressed up in a smart style or casual kind of summer evenings. Just optimism in a bottle. Beautiful bottle design. Expensive, 50 or 100ml sizes, and it's sort of niche prices. Maybe not as much as a Creed, but more than your designer stuff. If you'd like to see an extra video from me every week, sign up to my Patreon group. It's only $2 a month. There's a link in the description, and we have loads of interesting stuff going on there. I do a lot of fragrance stuff, of course, but I also talk about some other things to do with my life. It's really fun, and I hope to see you in there. As I say, you can follow the link in the description, or just go to Patreon and type in Mr. Smelly 1977. Next up, 1985 release, classic woody aromatic Le Troisième Homme de Caron. Still, you can buy this amazing, just fantastic, unique fragrance from the mid-80s. It's some similarities, in my mind, maybe, to things like Bois de Portugal from Creed, which I love, and quite a bit of clove in there. Some people say too much clove. I don't get that much clove, but it's got a clove note, it's got your usual citrus fresh notes, and then this undertone of warming, slightly spicy woodiness and an aura of gentlemanly grown-up masculinity. If you like things like Bois de Portugal, maybe if you have a slight affection for Guerlain's Heritage, which I probably should have included in this list, there's a similarity, but it's got its own unique character. Lovely lavender in here, which I think Caron specialise in. Of course, Pour Homme de Caron, great lavender fragrance. In here, it's not as prominent, but patchouli, lavender, a little bit of clove, absolutely amazing stuff. Do not miss out on, and vetiver is quite prominent, I think, in Caron, Le Troisième Homme de Caron. Next up, it's Givenchy XERYUS. Now, I've got the vintage version here, but you don't have to go and get the vintage version. I don't know where I've put my bottle. I'm going to be very naughty, and you're going to see it on the screen now, but the modern version of the thing is absolutely beautiful too. It's a classic fougere, but in the time it was almost, I don't know, a kind of a space age fougere. They put a little bit of incense in there with, again, your usual classic long note listing, citrus notes in the opening. You've got quite a lot of floral tones in there. There's a very sort of woody, warming, masculine base. In the old version, a lot of real oak moss, not so much in the new one. But the new one, very similar, just a little bit fresher. You definitely get the DNA of XERYUS from Givenchy, an absolutely stunning fragrance. Do not miss out on that one. You can get the Parfums Mythique version that you saw pictured there on the screen for sort of 30 odd pounds in the UK for 100ml. That is insane. Okay, moving on. It's ZINO, Davidoff. Davidoff ZINO. Loads of people talk about this one. Quite a bit of patchouli, woods, masculine, warming, rich, grown up. Is it better than Cool Water by Davidoff? It's very different, I'll tell you that. It's got a really nice kind of patchouli sandalwood base. Kind of fresh, but not as citrusy as some of the others I've mentioned. Again, you know, maybe in the same kind of mood where you'd go for Caron Le Troisième. You might prefer this one day or this another. Really, really lovely fragrance. Just a classic thing to have in your collection. 125ml, under £20 in the UK. If you're into vintage, you must have Davidoff. You must. Oh, one more. I forgot. Jules from Dior. Do not forget Dior's Jules. Modern reissue of the old classic. It's kind of their answer to, although it came out before it, their similar one to Coros. It's got that animalic thing. It's green, it's fern-like, it's like a walk in the woods, and then it's got this musky, sexy funk, a little bit underneath. Pissy, some people say. Not as pissy as Coros, though. Very, very charming, very grown up, very refined, different to all the others. I really, really like Coros. I'm going to cheat one more. You know what? Chanel Pour Monsieur. It's changed a bit. There's less oak moss. It's a classic citrus fragrance with it. I think ginger is listed, rather interestingly. Lavender again is in there. Incredible combination of citrus with spiciness, beautiful lavender, and a woody masculine base. And still, Chanel don't mess up their formulas, even if they have to change them. Pour Monsieur from Chanel. Let me know what you think of that list, guys. I want to see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And sometimes life may stink, but we can always smell good. Bye-bye.